There's one interesting thing about talking about this AI and all this stuff moving at light speed right now. And we're like, where's this going to be? Even in 5 years, it doesn't even look the same. In the book of Revelation, it talks about end times, and it says that in the end times, mankind's knowledge will increase exponentially, meaning multiples of itself, that it will increase like that. And I would argue that at no point in human history has knowledge increased more exponentially than it has in the past 20 years.
Well, bring it on. It's the waiting I can't stand.
Bring it.
I'm sitting here just saying, all right, let's roll.
Yeah,
waiting's the process. The process is the goal.
Tim, I pray to God that he doesn't come back until you've been saved, and that you believe that he is your king, that you believe in your heart that he rose from the dead, and that you have been saved. You do not want to go through the end times as an unbeliever. It is not going to be fun. It is going to be a time of trouble, turmoil, and tribulation like we have never seen on this planet. Okay? So we need to be very careful what we wish for. As far as the quote from John Rich, it's actually from Daniel chapter 12, verse 4, but it is talking about the end times, which Revelation is a whole book about. And Daniel chapter 12, it says, "At that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one who is found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Then I, Daniel, looked, and there stood two others, one on this riverbank and the other on that riverbank. And one said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, How long shall the fulfillment of these wonders be? And what we see here in this passage, and it's tied in with so many others in Scripture, what Jordan Peterson says is that the Scriptures are all hyperlinked to each other. So Genesis is referencing Revelation, and Revelation references Genesis, and it all actually coalesces together into a coherent and incredible story about Jesus Christ and what he's going to do when he comes back and he assumes the throne of his father, King David. And that is a political throne that exists or existed here on this earth and will exist again when Jesus Christ is sitting on that throne. And what is going to happen in that time of the end, in that tribulation, is absolutely horrifying. So the Holocaust, there were 1 out of every 3 living Jews at the time were murdered and killed and genocided, and it was a horribly evil and wicked time. But what's going to happen in the end times is 2 out of every 3 Jews will ultimately be genocided and killed and murdered by the Antichrist. And this is not something that I want or support. I hate it. I think it's horrible. But what that will trigger is it will trigger Jesus Christ coming back and judging those who did those horrible atrocities to his people, to the Jews, to the Christians, to the martyrs, to everyone. And he's going to repay everyone for their sins if they have not accepted Jesus Christ's grace through their faith. And if you have accepted it, he will have already taken you up to be with him, and you will be coming back in triumph to take over the world. And as part of the process, Jesus Christ will be standing in Jerusalem, and he will be, quote, treading out the winepress of God's wrath, end quote. And the winepress of God's wrath is horrifying. It is a river of blood that will be flowing out from the Temple Mount of the people who have opposed God. And so there will be a river of blood flowing into the ocean from Jerusalem, and this will be because of the people and the numbers of people that have gone against God and have chosen to reject him. And it's not something that I would wish on anybody. And I pray that everyone at Timcast and everybody watching and listening, that you accept Jesus Christ into your heart, you believe that he rose from the dead, and then you profess with your mouth that Jesus is King. Those are the keys to salvation. And I pray that you accept